Well, to the ones who feels lost, you're not forgotten. Not by God, nor by destiny, and certainly not by time. I tell you this morning, this season may feel like a dead end, but buried seeds don't grow in sunlight. They rise after darkness. I want to tell you that Nigeria may not have handed you clarity, but within the chaos, your identity is being formed. You are becoming. I hope you know that. You are more than your failures, more than the labels society gave you, more than the mistakes you've made or the expectations you couldn't meet. Your scars are not stains, they are signs of survival. To the ones who's given up, hope deferred makes the heart sick. Yes, I know. But hope is never fully gone. It flickers like a candle. It only needs a little breath to burn again. You know, if you're reading this, that breath is yours, or you're listening to this at the moment. Start small again, dream again, crawl if you must. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just don't count yourself out. And to all the Nigerian youth wrestling with identity, I have a message for you. You don't need to become what the world expects you to matter. I mean, whether you speak of Mushi, whether in Ibadan, in those interior places, your voice matters. Everyone's voices matters. In a country that tries to define you by tribes, status, or struggle, well, define yourself by grace, grit, and growth. Your identity is not in comparison, it's in conviction. Remember this: you are not too late, you are not too broken, you are not too lost. You are the story still being written, and Nigeria needs your chapter. Keep going, keep becoming. That's my message for you this morning. My name is SAMSON OMOTOSHO, and you're welcome to Press Drive on I-FLIER 103.3 FM IBADAN, the perfect choice station for the high flyers. It's about time we go into the news making the rounds on our several dailies this morning. As I sit back to enjoy every bit of them, I need you to understand that all this news does not make you, but it's just for you two persons to say again. Alright, don't worry. We're going to pay back. Alright, so how God saved me from fatal crash. You want to know who said that? You can go on the Nation newspaper to take a look at that news again. The MOWAA holds inaugural exhibition, unveils the Artists Council. Also, your government spends 2.1 billion naira to subsidize transport costs for residents. Okay, so we'll take a look at all of those news. Sanwo-Olu Lagos APC congratulates Ashafa at 70. Also, royal family seeks Sanwo-Olu's intervention over installation of new Onikoyi Shoki. Also, a TikTok star Pella reveals why he converted to Christianity. Also, Superman tops Nigerian box office for second consecutive week. Okay, well, that's a good one for them. Also, in politics, another Russian federal lawmaker dumps Adeleke, PDP. And of course, a return APC chairmanship to North Central Forum tells Tinubu ahead of NEC meeting. And lastly, agitators seek creation of Karadua State from Katsina. All right, so that's the much we to take on the Nation newspaper. Alright, so moving on to the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Resumption bid. Drama at Senate as Natasha security agents clash. Don't forget, Aisha Yusufu was also part of that march to the Senate yesterday. Also, kidnapping, poor health care. Reconsider planned trip to Nigeria. U.S. tells citizens. I don't know, Nigeria has become one of the the top countries across the world for blacklisted when it comes to traveling. I don't know what's happening. Southeast residents lament soaring house rent, say it is choking. Yeah, it's choking all over the country, and I think something should be done across board for rent. People are really paying out of their nose. Advocates for non-kinetic approach to curb drug abuse thuggery in Kano State. Okay, so we'll take a look at other news making the rounds on the Vanguard newspaper this very morning. If you look at this news, Adeleke won't defect to APC, says Osun PDP caucus. Also, Natasha to meet legal team seek seek court clarification after Senate blockade. Also, former Bauchi SSG resigns from PDP. Taking a look at other news, ADC coalition won't survive, says Samuel Otom, the former governor of Benue State. And all right, so congratulations to Super Falcons of Nigeria, WAFCON 2024. Super Falcons beat South Africa, zoom into final. Congratulations to them. They won against South Africa last night. Yes, they won against them by 2-1, and that took them to the final of the Continental Trophy competition. All right, so final, talking about that. Nigeria loses $18 billion annually to tax evasion, illicit financial flow. That's coming from the federal government. It says Nigeria loses $18 billion annually to tax evasion, illicit financial flow, coming from the federal government. Also, Plateau Assembly summons council chairman over insecurity. In other news, Delta Assembly to consider case of suspended DPPC staff and are really dying of starvation in Gaza. Our ADC bows over Tinubu endorsement by Adeleke Oyinlola, and Natasha heads to court after Senate blockade, faults Akpabio. Another source says that Jigawa governor signs Hisbah board bill into law. Jigawa governor signs Hisbah board bill into law. Also, Mechi's wife challenges Wike over 4 billion naira NDDC funds. Senate dismisses new state's claim, holds Buhari tribute ahead of that particular one. A judge discharges drug trafficker on health grounds. Judge discharges drug trafficker on health grounds. Also, young man killed while joining cult in Lagos. Now, this is quite pathetic. And 5 arraigned for illegal waste dumping in Lagos. I hope that can be done here too in Ibadan. I mean, your state. And a man escapes death after falling into 80-foot well in Lagos. 80 foot. 2 arrested for sexually abusing minor in Bauchi. And that's the much we'll be able to take on our several dailies. Analysis comes up shortly. Please stay with us. Alright, so welcome back. Yes, let's do some analysis towards the Israeli Defense Ministry headquarters in Tel Aviv on Tuesday. Yesterday, the United Nations in June 2025 condemned what it claimed was Israel's weaponization of food in Gaza and called it a war crime, as aid agencies urged action and warnings about malnutrition multiplied. Dozens of Palestinians, mostly children, have died from starvation and malnutrition amid a continued Israeli blockade. Their protests came amid mounting global concern over reports of famine in Gaza, where United Nations agencies say hundreds of thousands are on the brink of starvation. Humanitarian organizations have raised the alarm over worsening malnutrition, with 8 convoys reportedly blocked at the border. According to Al Jazeera, stalled in trucks outside the strip. On Tuesday, medical sources reported that 21 children died within 72 hours from severe hunger and malnutrition. Hospitals in Gaza, including and Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunus, are overwhelmed with patients suffering from acute food deprivation. Among the fatalities were 2 newborns and a child, of all whom succumbed to hunger-related complications. The International Middle East Media Centers reports that 900,000 children in Gaza are now suffering from hunger, with 70,000 having reached